y'all, it's me, Danny. So listen, I've been getting y'all messages, I've been getting your DMs and things like that. I have a question, can you help me out with merchant seaman? And truthfully, the truth is, I don't have as many answers as I used to because I'm not out there like that anymore. I think I owe it to you guys to tell you the good, bad, and the absolutely ugly, because there's some things that have happened to me that are just crazy, you know what I mean? So and I've been transparent with you all about how it goes and things like that, but there is something that I have not told you. There's something that kind of traumatized me, and it's not the reason that I'm choosing not to go back out to sea as often. I don't know if I'm never gonna do it again, but I know for sure right now I'm enjoying being on land, for one. I'm enjoying spending time with my family, spending time with my friends, and I have other ventures that I want to get into, that I want to discover and try. And I just feel like being gone for 4 months at a time, home for maybe 2 months, 3 months, and going back out, like, you really miss a lot, you really do. The situation that happened to me, I was on a ship, and I had this really flamboyantly obnoxious chief engineer. I mean, I'm gonna describe him for you, okay? He's about 6 feet tall, white man, short brown, short brown hair that he just kind of, you know, moosed up or whatever, scrunched. He would wear his coveralls with a chain on and with the thing like unbuttoned to here. And he was always just like, yeah, the ladies here love me. Ladies here love me. I was on a ship in Korea. The ladies here love me. And I have a girlfriend here. He would tell us all about his girlfriend, this girl that he would see every time we were in port, which that ship, we were in port often. But on the ship, we call them buy me drink girls, because what'll happen is you'll go into a bar. If you're a man, you'll go into a bar, and these girls will flirt with you and make you feel like, oh, you're so important. And they're like, buy me a drink, me and my friends. And whole time they work at this bar. You don't know they work at this bar, but they work for this bar. Buy a drink for me, buy a drink for my friends. And they're having you buy shots that cost $40. You know, by the end of the night, you've spent your check. Okay, so that is what my chief engineer was doing. He would go to her house, fix things. He was her handyman. He told me that she had like a honey-do list for him. He would always like hype up how much he does for her and how much she loves him and all this stuff. But honestly, he was a married man with a full family back at home. He would call his wife at home and say, oh my gosh, they messed up my check. I don't know why my money is looking like this. I just need for, you know, I'm only going to be able to send home this much, but don't worry, I'll send more home. Whole time he's with this girl, fixing her sink and fixing her shower. This chief engineer was making over $30,000 a month on this ship. And yeah, he was on rotation with another chief engineer. And so was the first engineer on rotation with another first engineer. So this chief engineer, he was really freaking flirty. You have to be careful with that type, because he's not overtly like, come to my room, but any chance he got, this man would come to me and say, you know, whenever you feel like watching the movies, I got a really nice setup in my room. I have a nice TV. I got all the DVDs you can think of, which the ship had plenty of DVDs, and I had plenty on my computer. Anytime you want to come over, just come over. You can chill as long as you want to. You don't even have to leave. Basically inviting me to stay the night in his room. Red flag. So anyway, yeah, I've never gone for that. I never went for it. And I'd just be like, okay, thanks. Like, I'm good. No thanks, you know. And he would always just like, it was a ship, but my bedroom was on a little boat next to the ship, because I was unlicensed. I was out at the bottom of the totem pole. I was entry level pretty much, and I was there for a little while by myself. And then we got a cadet coming from Kings Point who stayed on that boat with me. The boat was actually like rinky-dink. It had a TV and stuff like that and a little lounge area, but compared to where they were living on the ship, it was like all wood paneling and just disgusting. The shower was absolutely disgusting. I think I went in there with a scrub brush before, just trying to get the grime out. And that cadet, I don't think he cared at all. He just go in, do his thing, whatever. We had to share a bathroom on that little boat. And my bed in the room was like, I could touch all walls at the same time. Like 1 foot here, 1 foot there, I could touch all the walls. And my bed was a bunk bed, a wooden bunk bed. But anyway, he really wanted to have a movie night on the boat. And he was like, yeah, you and the cadet can come and everybody can come over to the boat and we'll just have a movie night. Let's pop some popcorn, let's do all these things. Like, he was just obsessed with trying to get me to like him, and I just was not rocking with the dude because I knew, like, look at how you treat your wife. I don't respect it, you know what I'm saying? So I would really just like dodge him, keep my distance from him. But I guess he took that as a sign to like go harder, go harder, go harder, go harder. And I'm like, bruh. But it wasn't like, hey, come sleep with me. He would never say anything like outward like that. I didn't feel like I needed to report him, or I didn't feel like sexually harassed. I was just like, regular harassed? Like, bruh, leave me alone. I just want to do my job and go home. I was relieving this older gentleman he was a black guy, and he and I and the cook were the only black people on this ship with a crew of about 22 people. He wasn't there. He left. I came in for him. My position on that ship, I think I was a wiper. I was a wiper that ship. So anyway, in an attempt for the chief engineer to try to get me to love him so much and think he's this great guy that I didn't think he was, he came up to me one morning. We would all have muster in the engine control room. Everyone in the engine department, we would have muster in the engine control room, 6 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I think for overtime, or maybe even after lunch, and then right before overtime. So we're sitting there in the morning. I probably have a cup of coffee, like half sleep, just sitting there. He's like, yeah, because he comes in every morning and does this like weird pep talk and then goes back to his office and does like absolutely nothing. So he comes in to do his morning pep talk, which is so annoying because it usually consists of him talking about himself and how great of a guy he is. There was a third engineer on the ship. Her name, we're not gonna say her name, but she kind of like tried to teach me things and how things go, and she was cool. She's like, you know, there's one guy on there. He was so sweet. Like, he was such an amazing person to me. Like, he would come and randomly check on me. This he may have been like 10 years older than I was. He's about 5'9", white dude, really nice, really nice. And he came up to me and he would just like check on me. Hey, how are you feeling today? Are you okay? You need any help with anything? Because I want to teach you about this real quick. When you have time, come over here and let me teach you something. And I loved that. Anytime he had anything to talk to me about or to teach me, I was open ears. I was just like, yes, because he didn't seem to have weird intentions. He was really sweet. He was kind. He treated everyone on the ship the same. And I really liked that. I really respected that. So he and I were pretty cool, pretty close on the ship. And I really looked at him as like a big brother, you know. I'm just giving you, let's call him David, okay? I'm just giving you pinpoints. Let's call the third engineer woman, let's call her Ashley. So that morning at muster, he comes in talking about himself. Oh yeah, because I love to take my unlicensed crew out for pedicures. Yeah, because I took my last cadet and my last wiper out for pedicures. I took the last wiper out, and it's a funny story. I have to tell it. So here he goes into this story. Dun dun dun. So he tells me he takes. Dang, what are we gonna call this old black guy that I relieved? What are we gonna call him? Because I don't want to put his real name out there. Let's call him Chester. He had like a weird older name. So let's call him Chester. Yeah. So he's like, yeah, I took Chester out for pedicures with the last cadet. We should all go for pedicures. But the funny thing is, when I took Chester out for a pedicure, the woman who was rubbing his feet, She just kept saying, ninja, 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 ninja. I mean, he's not substituting any letters or anything. He's just saying it. And I mean, he's falling out laughing about it. And I'm just sitting there like, is this man really saying to me, the only black person in the engine control room? And because this is such a hilarious story, I honestly didn't know how to feel. I sat there until his story was over. So he continues. So after she keeps saying this, he's looking at her and he's just like, well, I guess she just learned that from somewhere. That's what he says. So he says he pays for them and they all leave out, and he comes back in and talks to the lady and goes, say, what's up with you calling my friend that? Why would you call my friend that? And she has the ability to tell him, oh, in my language, it just means this or that. And it means this or that. And so he goes, oh, okay. And so he just falls out. Well, yeah, I thought that was just so funny. I look around the room and everyone is like somewhere else, looking somewhere else. No one wanted to make eye contact with me. I look at Ashley, and her face is cherry red. Everybody's head is down. The first engineer is scratching his. What are y'all looking for that's on the floor? Do y'all notice what's going on over here with me? Help me. Help me, please. Someone say something, anything. That's not okay. Hey, maybe you shouldn't say that. Wait. No one said a word. No one said a word. No one stood up for me. No one asked me how I felt. No one said a word. So I was just like, I don't think you're supposed to be saying that. And he looks at me, he's like, you know, I don't mean that. I don't think that's what you are. Like, and I'm just like, but you shouldn't be saying it. I don't even say the word like that. And I'm black. I am black. So what is going on here? And I asked him, I said, is this the type of language that you use in like your country clubs or something? Because it's unacceptable. This is a workplace. I don't care if it's a joke. It's not okay. He gets all flustered and he storms out. And I'm just sitting there, and the first engineer is like, so anyway, so I walk over to his desk and I'm like, first, what was that? Like, nobody said anything. Do y'all all think that's okay? Like, nobody felt like that was. And he goes, Danny, you need to stop. Don't even start. Don't start with it. Like, he just gets belligerent. And I'm standing there like, what is happening? Everything was fine before this. Like, what is happening here? Because I'm standing up for myself? Or because I'm telling you, like, that's not right? So later on, I'm just like cleaning the heck out of the bilges or something. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm working off to myself, like trying to process what just happened. And David, my sweet friend David, comes over to me and he was like, Danny, what happened? Because he was the only one who wasn't in that engine control room. He was out doing his job because he did not like hanging out with that crew in the morning. He didn't care, muster or not, he's not showing up. Mandatory muster or not, he's not coming in there. So he was already out working. And so he was like, Danny, what happened? I walked into the engine control room and I heard first saying, oh, she's got to go. We got to get her out of here. And my heart just sank. My heart sank because I was still unlicensed. I was still in the program finishing up my 4th phase. This is my 4th phase ship. And so my heart just sank and I was just like, they're going to try to get me fired or worse. I don't know what to do at this point. So I called my dad because I didn't want to report it to the company right away. I didn't know if they would say something and there would be some retaliation, and I'm on the other side of the world. And so I called my dad, and he could tell how frustrated and angry I was. Like, my voice was shaking. I was probably crying, like, I don't know, like, what to do. He says, first of all, you're giving way too much power to that word. You know who you are. So don't let anybody take you outside of yourself. And I think that calmed me a lot. And I wondered too, like, why do I give so much power to this word? Given the history, no, it's absolutely not okay for my boss to say those words to me, in front of me, around me, or say them at all. But I had to check myself and my emotions, like, girl, get it together, because you are on the other side of the world by yourself. Mommy and daddy can't get to you here. You have to think smart. And so I don't know. I was really sad about it. I was really down about it. I reached out to the company and I told them what happened. And I went in with my cell phone in my pocket of my coveralls. I recorded myself when I spoke to the first engineer and told him, nobody stood up for me. Like, what's going on here? It's not okay. And you could hear him blatantly trying to justify why it wasn't what I'm making it, and I'm being overly sensitive. And I really didn't appreciate that, because first of all, my feelings are valid. But Ashley brings her happy hips over to tell me, yeah, she's a white woman too, to tell me, well, at least just be happy. He thought you were so cool. We all think that you're so cool. We like you so much. We like you so much. But I mean, just at least be happy he felt comfortable enough to say that in front of you, instead of just what, Ashley? Instead of just what? Go ahead. Let's see what's really been going on. Instead of just what, Ashley? Yeah, that really happened. Like, seriously, 100% true. So I reached out to the company and I told them what happened. And I told them I have this recording. I will send it to you if I have to. And, but also let me finish out my next 2.5 weeks, because I need the sea time in order to graduate this program. And I'm not gonna let anybody's stupidity mess that up for me. I'm not gonna let being over emotional mess that up for me. And I let them know, yeah, I think I had about 3 weeks left on there, which was so awkward the rest of the time. Like, people just kind of like, when I come in the room, you know, it was just really uncomfortable and just, but it is what it is. It was what it was. So when I left, the day I left, I was leaving the gangway and the first engineer comes out to me. Everybody's basically like standing out there helping me put my bags into the van. And the first engineer comes to hug me. He was like, hey, I'm really sorry about everything. I'm like, if you feel the need, I didn't say this to him, but if you feel the need to give me an apology about how everything went, then you obviously know that it was wrong. And hopefully going forward, like, you could have said that to someone who's going to completely lose their top. Like, it's not justifiable. I don't justify someone losing their top, but you don't know who you're dealing with. And then you gonna want to have this guy arrested or fired or whatever, when bottom line is, chief engineer, watch your freaking mouth. So yeah, I got home and everything was cool. I was just like, if I go out to sea, I wonder if there's like a blacklist, or I wonder if my name is going around out there like I'm trouble, or I'm this problematic person to work with. Like, I had all these thoughts going through my head. And then I got a subpoena in the mail to go to court for the situation, in New York City, in Manhattan, in the Chrysler building, one of the tallest buildings there. They asked me though, I was like, this is crazy, this is some BS, because it's been so long since it's happened. And I'm going to court because the chief engineer basically is disputing everything that's happened. They paid for my travel, of course. They asked me, did I want to fly or drive? And I was like, I'm gonna drive to New York from Virginia. I took my friends with me and we made a trip of it, because at this point, I'm done being down about this. So they had me testify, but before I testify, in the hallway, the chief engineer comes up to me and he like whispered my name, like, Danny. Like, what are you trying to say to me? Like, please don't say anything, or I didn't mean it that way, or whatever. Like, I don't know. I still don't know to this day, like, what he wanted to say to me, but I just, like, the same way that they stopped making eye contact with me in the engine control room, like, I just didn't even make eye contact with him. I didn't want to be manipulated. I didn't want to feel bad. I just wanted to be done with it. So I still don't 100% know the outcome of what happened with that situation. After I testified, I left and I went and took my girls out to eat. And we visited some family while we were there, and we headed back home. So it's a crazy story, yes, but there are plenty of other crazy stories that have happened to not just me, but many other people. I've had a homeboy, I'm not gonna say his name, but rest his soul, who didn't wake up the next morning in his room on the ship after being out the night before, and nobody knows what happened. It's happened with someone else before as well. These things can happen with any career, any job that you choose. So it really is weighing out your options, looking at the good, looking at the bad, looking at the ugly, and making your decision from there. But I'm so proud when people reach out to me telling me that they got accepted into the program or that they have their credentials and stuff. Like, it really warms my heart, and I'm really happy to hear that from y'all. And I'm happy when I'm able to help, even if it's just a little bit. I know I don't get to everybody's DMs and stuff like that on my Instagram, but that's like my kind of everyday life. YouTube is for certain questions and stuff like that, so I don't always have time to answer questions about merchant seamen through my Instagram because it gets chaotic in there. You guys you gotta come up off me a little bit. Like, hey, like, y'all gotta be working. I don't even do it no more. So yeah, I plan to make other vlogs about what I'm currently doing. I'm working a regular job that I enjoy, that I work from home. I just take my laptop with me wherever I want to go, and sometimes I bartend, and that's been fun for me. I just been chilling and, you know, eating and working out. I have this next venture coming that I'm really excited about, but I'm not going to speak on it too soon. I'm just going to show you. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe, because y'all be watching my videos and stuff like that, but you don't even subscribe, and you didn't hit like, and you probably just commented to ask me something for yourself. You do nothing for me. If you would subscribe, that would be great. If you would like a comment, if you would share this, that would be cool. Like, you know somebody that wants to know about being a merchant seaman and you know of this video, send it to them. Send it to your friends, okay? And also follow me on Instagram. It's Dani, DANI _ unicorn.